Hello, everybody. This is Angel Arts, and welcome to session 24. This is the penultimate session of the campaign, and it's also the technically final battle against the big bads in the campaign. So we are doing a little bit of an experimentation where the final battle doesn't actually take place in the final session. So before we start, I wanted to ask, can you share with us what you personally felt was one of your favorite moments during the campaign? And it could be in character or out of character. Or if you want to answer for both, you can answer for both.
One thing that was really nice was with Pasha and Leon, right after, there was some blood magic for the first time, and Pasha had I'm going to sit in his room until he wakes up, and then we'll have this intense conversation. And I think both Callista and I were expecting the conversation to go drastically different than how it did. And in the end, it was just a honest conversation of I will be erased, and Leon coming to grips with the consequences of actions on others. And I liked how it subverted what at least I thought the way it was going to go.
So I think my favorite thing that happened was the kind of when Leon found out that he was Urthamiel and the entire group's reaction. That moment afterwards where Durtham was like, I pin him against a wall. I'ma stab him in retaliation. I'ma try and get in. I'ma beat Durtham around the back of the head. Pasha's just gonna shield. Like that was my favorite, but just seeing the party reacting to something very, very life-changing for Leon. And I'm gonna say something very cheesy right now. My favorite out-of-character experience was getting to know you all. There you go.
Aww.
So I wanted to do essentially one split on two, the group moment where I felt was the entire group, and then one for Tyrion. In terms of honestly with group, because there's so many good moments. I think the one I personally I felt was very fun was in the beginning when we all met for the first time, when all the characters just sort of joined up there at the carnival, Leon and Tyrion just questioning about the butterfly, the other Russo, Darrington, and Pasha were conversing about children and all that. But it was the very good, the group joins together and we go on and we fight off the dragons, and we go on this crazy adventure that we're on. That was, in my opinion, very interesting, and I still remember it. For Tyrion, there's a lot of good ones. I think the one I personally enjoyed a lot though was the also not an early one in session 7 when he with Darren. That reveal just I didn't expect that session to be a Tyrion session, and it turned out it was. And just him having to run off, we see the true feelings of how Tyrion's like. His fear, his emotions sort of outgoing there. That was a blast. So everything else after that also was still good, but that was just I remember it's still there. So yeah.
You're really making this hard by saying one, so I'm going to cheat and do more than one for different perspectives, like everybody else has. So from a group perspective, everything that happened as a whole, definitely agree with Callista. The Arthemiel reveal was so much fun. So just as a whole, how everyone reacted in that big kerfuffle of a moment, I love that. For myself, I fucking love Tyrion causing a slave revolt and losing his cool and doing that. It was so awesome. I'm so glad I got to play the murder weapon. I love that. And then for a character moment, there's a lot. There is a lot. But really boiling down to it, I think that the most crucial and important point in this campaign for Daretham was I don't have to kill them anymore. When he was given the cure. Because that was the real turning point where his whole arc changed. Thank you, Kimberly. I love it. I don't actually hate it. I kind of hate it, though, because I would have loved the dark stuff, but I also love it because I like the light stuff. So I can name so many more, but those are the three that stand out right now.
overall, I'd say my favorite out of character thing was just getting to hang out with like everyone here every 2 weeks and just have fun being not serious about everything. I'd have to say my favorite in character moment had to be session 10 with Russo basically coming clean to Balin. Like, I felt like that was the very pivotal point for his character where he started to reform and change a lot. And I'm gonna miss not doing this every 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah.
We'll keep doing it. We'll all be investigators or whatever we're doing with Skull.
There'll be other campaigns, and Tommy, of course, is doing his Resident Evil campaign. So, yeah, I always get sad during this time because it obviously it's bittersweet because I am gonna miss seeing you all like every other week.
I am annoyed at one thing though.
Okay.
We never got to do an in-person session, which is annoying.
Yeah.
We could still like do an in-person thing if we wanted to once things are blown over.
Fair.
And it could just be honestly, it could just be like a short, like one-shot checkup. Like, here's what happened 6 months later with this group, you know. If that's what you want to do, we could do that. Or we could just spend the entire time just hanging out and go to DC. It's whatever you want to do. Cool. I'd love to answer the question because, you know, other than Dan the Man, Ethan actually, like, he actually gave the out of character reason that I was going to give, which was, or I'm sorry, not out of character, in character reason, which was everybody first coming together. That normally is my favorite, like, moment for every campaign. But other than that, I will say that the session that I really remember the most was actually one that I did not plan ahead of time. That session was because of you all, which was the Tirashan Forest. I did not intend for you guys to go to Tirashan at all, but I'm glad you suggested it because it was one of my favorite sessions that you guys did. Not only because I thought that there were some interesting puzzles for you guys to go through, and I think every single character had chances to shine during those puzzle moments, but the reveals at the House of Faust were awesome. Especially, obviously, the Rousseau stuff was awesome. So yeah, that would be mine. Cool. So let's kick it off from where we left off. So I believe Rousseau had just given his epic rallying speech, and you are all making your way now to Our Lady of, I think it was the Our Lady of the Anderfels, which is the big honkin' giant Andraste statue. You sent Baum to be the war ambassador, war liaison.
The diplomatic ogre, that's not an oxymoron.
The diplomatic ogre who is sending forces of Darkspawn to help fight or defend Ravane against the invading Kunari.
Also known as Tuesday.
Correct. And instead I know you're bringing Violetta. I don't remember if you officially said you were either leaving Balin behind or taking Balin with you. You are taking Balin with you?
Yes, Balin was coming with us. That's why Violetta came.
Great. Perfect. Cool. So you all will fly in whatever dragon form you'd like. Maybe we'll just say it's the most recent one that you picked up. Just, it's got that new car smell also. And then I'm going to say that because Ravane, it's pretty far away, but from the height that you're flying, you can see little specks in the direction of the Ravane, which you presume could be a small swarm of airships out in the distance. But you have chosen not to move in that direction. By the way, going over to Ravane was totally an option if you wanted to do that. It wasn't the option I would have expected you to choose, but had you, I was prepared to do that and give you the consequences for doing that. Another option, which I didn't think you guys were going to do, but I was prepared to, I had an idea of how I would pull it off. Was if you decided to split the party and half of you go towards the Kinara and the other half goes to the Anderfells. I was totally prepared for that. But we can talk more about that during the vlog if you'd like. So, you eventually reach the Anderfells. You can see the giant structure of Andraste, similar, I suppose, to the Statue of Liberty. The first thing that you will notice is that at the feet of Andraste is not the Magister Sidereals, but a whole pile of dead dragons of various ages. Many younger dragons. There might be a few high dragons here and there, but it's a big spectrum of dragons. And I'm going to say that, Daretham, without even rolling, based on the number of dragons, dead dragon bodies here, the amount of blood they provide is about the same amount of blood that the slaves gave in sacrifice to the ritual from way back when, just as an FYI.
Are we like 1 or 2 dragons short or so? Like from a rough estimate?
I mean,
should I make a roll
for that? Go, yeah. I think it'd be hard to guess.
Okay,
that,
and we're in not Earth, so I get a +1 to cunning, right?
Sure. Yes, you're not in Earth.
19 with 6 stun point.
It to your estimate, it actually seems like there is the correct amount of blood based on these dead dragons.
So considering that we're all in our big dragon thing, I don't know who'd be leading it. But either way, all the other avatars would like hear Daretham's thoughts going like a mile a minute as soon as we start to see this, and then you just hear, "Oh shit!" And then he would, without saying anything, would just show a few images, slaves going down, green explosion, and he would say, "Yeah, that's enough blood."
For what exactly?
Oh, tearing open the veil and entering the Golden City, or the Black City, again, the second time.
Should we evaporate the blood or somehow get rid of it? Or is it too late?
That would, well, if it's too late, then we gotta go fast. But if we can, yes, definitely do that.
I'm gonna try. Can I try to see if there's any anyone down there from a distance up here?
Are you? Yeah. You can roll your own perception if you'd like, Tyrion.
Seeing.
Mm-hmm. Yes, please.
18.
You do see a few people below, amongst the carnage. They do not look like Magister Sidereals, though. They do, however, appear to be armored in some way, but they do not look like Magister Sidereals.
I'm going to measure everyone, and I'm going to point these out. Hey, armored figures down there. Not Sidereals. I don't know what they look like.
Do you think it might be more of those green lyrium darkspawn? I mean, that'd make the most sense.
Well,
you don't believe so, Tyrion?
No, they don't look like them from what we've seen. I mean, generally they would be like monstrosities. These are armored figures.
Does the armor look Kunari?
They do not.
Okay, thank goodness.
So what do we do? Do we try to drop somewhere where it's not a little bit far away from them so we can approach quietly, or are we gonna go in loud on this?
I think we need to deal with this before it escalates. I think the time for subtlety is over.
I've got grease, which is 30 yards. From there, we can light it on fire, and the grease will continue burning. So we could light the corpses all on fire, try to get rid of the amount of raw materials they have.
Or just one of us turn into a high dragon that can breathe fire and incinerate them all.
That is true.
I say we land, see who they're about. It turns south, then we go to town.
Yeah.
Alright, just in case, as we go, I'm going to be casting an anti-magic ward on all of you.
Alright.
Good idea.
So I will activate Taint Magic mode, and then I'm just going to cast all the anti-magic wards I need because they last till the end of the encounter. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and how many? We have Valor, Balin, Violetta,
Nathan.
Nathan,
Rosie,
Rosie,
and
Darren.
Darren.
So that's 11
11.
casting.
Did I notice the armor? Does it, like the armor? Do I know what kind it is? Is it?
If you want to fly closer, I can give you more description. However, they will most likely see a giant flying dragon.
And we'll stop somewhere a little bit far away where they don't notice us. So.
Okay.
I'd say I was probably guiding them since I know the Underpearls well enough. So.
That makes sense. Very well. As you guys then approach, you do recognize the armor to be Grey Warden armor. And I think it's safe to say that I'm sure that Rousseau will recognize the one in the lead is Corin.
Oh, they haven't kicked him out of the position yet.
Do you know that group of Grey Wardens, dear? Violetta says, and Balin, who's like next to you, he's kind of holding your hand, I think, because he's never been in this place before.
Yeah, I'm holding Balin's hand. I'll turn to Violetta. The one, and remembering that he told Balin that Uncle Corin was the one that did it, he's just gonna kind of whisper to Violetta. The one in front is my brother.
Oh, she said. I see. He's wearing. She looks a little confused at this moment. She says. He's wearing Fergus Cousland's armor, or at least the equivalent of Fergus Cousland's armor.
How often were you able to keep up with your Fire Guardian abilities since riding with us?
Not much at all, considering how I had to keep an eye on Balin. So I haven't been here for a while.
Basically, the Awakened were made apparent to the rest of the Dark Spawns, and they had a bit of a tussle, and Corin was nominated new First Warden.
I see. I have many questions, but I will reserve them for later then. So you guys are going to make yourself... I don't know if you guys are going to make yourselves known.
What do we do?
Are you going to stealth your way to them?
No, we're just landing right in front. At least I would be saying that.
I'd say we land somewhere nearby because we didn't notice them first, so
Yeah.
we just landed.
Sorry, just for people to know, everyone, you have an anti-magic ward. It was all successfully cast, and there's also an entropic cloud going.
Cool.
Russo, what do you think we should do? I mean, this is your brother and all. So just be open about this.
I say we approach. If he tries to do anything, we've beat him once before. Rather easily.
Yeah.
You guys will approach, and as you're approaching, it appears that the reason, based on their behavior, the reason the Grey Wardens are here is because they're investigating this random group of dragons essentially in their backyard that suddenly appeared for whatever reason. And I think that you will definitely be recognized by Corin. And when you are close enough to being able to speak to one another, Corin will yell out, "Rousseau! So you've come back. I didn't think you would after the last time we saw each other. At least not this soon."
Well, necessity breeds convenience, I guess.
Violetta's just gonna be looking at Corin, and she's gonna have a little bit of a kind of a dirty look on him. And then I guess Corin says, "Well, I don't suppose you have any idea what this is all about," he says, pointing at the dead dragons' corpses.
Well, had you taken longer than 2 seconds to talk to us before attacking last time, we could have told you about the Sidereals and the dragons and everything else, but there wasn't much time when we last met.
Right. Well, he says, "I don't suppose that you have more information that can enlighten us now, then?" Is this something that us wardens have to be concerned about?
I'd say probably so, considering that the remaining ancient Sidereals are at play here.
He then finally notices the little boy next to you, and there's a slight change in his face. So he's trying to remain cool and stoic, but you'll see a slight break when he sees Balin, and you can probably presume he's putting two and two together. And he'll quickly look away again, and Balin just looking at him very curiously. I don't think that Balin has a specific expression when he sees Corin, because he just doesn't recognize him. Corin will say, "Well, what do we have to do to prepare then? What do we need to... Should I go back and inform everyone to reinforce our defenses?"
Dartham?
Sorry, I just wanted to say everyone also has a life ward, so as soon as you drop to 10 or lower HP, you immediately regain 2d6, and that'll be, and I can reapply that later if we need to, but
Cool.
everyone has that as well.
How long does that
Also
last?
until end of encounter. So all these things are end of encounter. I'm not doing any round-based stuff until we actually start fighting. Because that would...
I asked Corin, has there been any, what have you found so far, other than the dragons? Has there been anyone else around?
No, by the time we got here, nobody's here. However, some of our mages noticed a bit of a disturbance right underneath the feet of Our Lady of the Anderfells. Magical disturbance.
Brother, how well do you remember the chant?
Fairly well, you know this, Russo.
Remember how they said those that sought to usurp the heavens?
Yes, those were the Magisters, I believe, who turned into the original Darkspawn.
Yeah. Dartham intercepted I don't know what to call it, but like
Message?
a telepathy message from the Sidereals that said they're getting ready to make once what was black gold again.
And speaking from experience, that's the amount of blood they need to tear open the veil.
The last time they did that, that's what caused all the blights to happen.
They're probably doing it again.
Also, Corin might notice when Dartham is here, he doesn't have a growly voice, and he looks his, half and half, a more healthy form.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So, whatever happens.
I'm sure he'll look a little puzzled by that, but I don't know if that's immediately the top of his mind at the moment, but he definitely will be puzzled.
I'd say the highest priorities is making sure this is lessened so they can't do the ritual if we have time. If we don't, get ready for a fight.
Oh, Leon, start that grease right away, just in case.
You got it.
How do you know they haven't already cast the ritual? It looks like something happened here.
Could I just, through innate blood magic, feel if they've used a lot of blood magic or how close they are
Sure.
Wait, the dragons are dead, right? Sorry.
The dragons are
Yeah.
dead.
Could I also do that for taint magic in case that comes up on my radar?
Sure.
I look at Dartham.
Yes.
The ritual back in your time, did it kill all the slaves and eventually the veil was opened?
Yes, also that's a 31 with 6 stun points.
What if they were already in the veil? Opened it up.
That would be a problem. But considering that the last time that happened, there was a giant green explosion, which, and then the next thing I knew, I was this. Well, not this. And I was more monstrous. Yeah. That would be an issue.
Alright, how about this? They said there was a magical disturbance. You two guys check out where the magical stuff's going on. If anyone else wants to go with them, go ahead. I'll try and see if there's anyone else around here. See if there's any, I don't know, someone hiding or something like that.
Oh, and Leon, don't forget your +2
Yeah.
love
Got it.
friendship bonus.
Got a 24 for blood magic.
Hark, if it's not an issue. So Turn's gonna do something a little bit bad. He's gonna go, climb on the dragon corpses to get a vantage point, and he's gonna look around to see if there's anyone else other than the Grey Wardens
Sure.
with his sniper rifle.
Are you going to climb, or are you going to teleport throw your way up to
I'm gonna
one of
climb.
the dragons?
I'm gonna climb. Let's try climbing, I imagine, first.
Save
Fair
the
enough.
chakra.
Fair enough. Did anybody, by any chance, take any of the chakra fruit with them? Like, pack some chakra fruit with them from the Chai Chi Isles?
For
Didn't
character
say.
reasons, no for me.
I didn't say so, but Darthan definitely would have.
Tyrion, no.
I think, honestly, I think Darren would have. I'm sure Darren has a stash in their clothes right now.
So maybe
Sure.
between.
I'm sure that Leon has like samples at least.
I mean, Daustrul did give you a plant.
I
That's
got
true.
a
He did
plant.
give you a plant.
Oh no.
I think Pasha would have taken some fruit also because it tasted
Sure.
really sweet. And
Yeah,
Yeah,
I would.
I-
I wouldn't
I
have
think
taken
Darthan would have been thinking more tactically, so I think he would have gotten like 10. So he just
Sounds good.
has a stash belt, and actually, as we go, he'll hand out 2 to each avatar and be like,
Nice.
"If you run low on chakra, just take one."
If you would like to be at max chakra, which is 10, I think, you're welcome to,
I
and
haven't
still
used,
have.
haven't used any yet, and I had enough stunt points casting my spells
Cool.
back up. So
So,
if you want to, you can do so and still have fruit left over. Go ahead, Skull.
no, I did my climbing. That's a 23 because I have the +4 bonus from friendship.
Cool. Yes, true, friendship bonus.
Friendship
So
bonus.
let me go over the rolls before I forget. So we have the blood magic roll from Leon,
which is a 24.
which is a 24. So you definitely feel lingering blood magic in this area. Some big giant ritual did take place, the origins of which do appear to be at the feet of Our Lady of Vanderfels.
Is it too late to burn the bodies?
You mean to prevent the ritual from happening?
Yeah.
Or yes, because the ritual already happened.
Cool.
For the 30-something,
31 with 6 stunt points.
yes, you definitely feel taint as if the Magister Sidereals were certainly here. They probably left not quite an hour ago, not quite, but you definitely feel that their presence were here, all 4 of them, I will say specifically. You probably could also feel that there was a lot of additional tainted creatures of the green lyrium variety with them as well.
So maybe
but
like
they're no longer here.
maybe like a 1-2. Leon says, "Yeah, the ritual happened," and then Darthan says they left not an hour ago, and there were a bunch of those green lyrium creatures with them.
For the spot check,
That's why I climbed. I haven't done the spot check. I'll do
Yes.
it now. So I climbed successfully. I managed to 23, and then that is a
yeah,
22 for seeing.
you're not gonna see that much more anything significant, but I will say that you do see it. It's not a full portal. It looks like a tiny peephole-y looking portal thing at the feet of the Our Lady of Andraste.
I'm going to shout out, "Hey, I see something at the feet of the Maker." Sorry, Andraste. Wrong person.
And that's where we go.
I jumped down from the top.
I'm gonna turn to Corin. Here's they've already done what they came to do. How many people do you have?
do you... I was just going to say, do you think it's wise bringing Grey Wardens with us, bearing in mind that the Magister Sidereals seem to have sway over them?
I'm asking how many there are. I haven't made a decision.
Fair.
Are you asking with us here or back at Weisshaupt?
Here?
I brought about a dozen of my men.
How would you feel about getting some reinforcements from people you don't really particularly like?
You know how I am about people I don't particularly like, Rousseau.
Yeah, so I'm asking you to get over it.
And Darthan would, after that, say, "And First Warden Alren, this is effectively about to be the mother of all blights. At this point, I don't think factionalism is going to help us much."
What are you suggesting, Rousseau?
You come with us. Take about 1-2 people with you. Leave the rest you've got here and send one guy to get reinforcements to be at the portal in case the next blight happens. And Fergus is probably all you're going to have time for.
You want me to come with you where?
Through the portal at Andraste's feet.
And that's supposed to take us to the Fade?
To the Black City.
Corin looks a bit troubled by this. And he says, so you want me to leave my men here and go with you and have them gather themselves and do what exactly?
Be ready for if we fail.
Mhm.
Because this is the beginning of the next set of blights if we don't win.
He thinks for a moment. Very well. Stroud, go over to the Black Wardens or whatever they call themselves now. Inform them of the situation. I will put you in charge while I accompany this group into whatever make a forsaken place we're about to go to.
And as he's talking, then I'm a life ward and an anti-magic ward him.
Cool.
So
Keep up.
I'm High Warden. I think I can manage, Rousseau.
Yeah, and I'm a demigod now, so keep up.
I think Violetta will whisper to you. So if we do end up, if things do actually go well between us, he technically will be related to me by marriage, correct?
Yes.
But at the same time, the Guardians have a hit on him as well, correct?
Also correct.
Fine by me, she says. She smiles. Balin is gonna whisper to you, who is that, Daddy?
Someone I knew a long time ago.
He doesn't seem very nice to you, though. Was he somebody that lost a case with you?
In a way, I'm gonna basically kneel down and pick Balin up and kind of just piggyback carry him to the portal. Let's just say when we left, it wasn't on the best of footing.
You guys will arrive at the portal, and it seems to be like a small, sparkling, glowing hole, yay big. You could possibly put your hand through it, but the rest of your bodies certainly won't be able to go through that. It's tiny. No, for the mages, this is a really unusual because normally when you open a portal into a Fade, it opens up, it lingers for a little bit,
goes away
and then it closes back up. So the fact that this is still open, especially since they've been gone almost an hour, is not normal.
Does it look like it's or feel like it's slowly closing, or does it feel like it's, you've taken there's the wall of the veil and you've just punched a small hole in it?
It feels like it's slowly closing.
Okay.
So it's possible that something might be causing it to close slowly. You're not really sure. Leon, and I guess Daretham would know this too. You believe that you can make this larger, but it means you're going to have to do... Essentially, you're going to have to do the ritual, not with as much blood, but you'll need not like thousands and thousands of slaves' blood, but you probably will need to use a bit of blood. And this will be fatal, like perhaps an army of Grey Wardens amount of blood to open this portal back up.
Question. How much time, based off of the closing, if it's a linear, linearly decreases with time?
For it to fully close?
Yeah, before it's too late for us to come back through.
6 hours, roughly. It's not going to be immediate. 6
Also,
hours. It's slowly.
Other question. Could potentially the regional effects of the fire region make that decay stop entirely, or like it basically make it so that the cost would be a lot less to do the ritual.
Well, no,
Actually
because
higher.
even it would be higher because it would require more
Mana
mana / more. Yeah.
Well,
Fair.
So
But
the f-
we do have the Guardian of Fire technically with us, so we don't know if that mitigates some of it.
Out of character, couldn't we theoretically have the Fire Guardian further diminish it to lower the cost because it's more strained if putting it up?
she can. I mean, are you gonna ask Violetta that actually?
I'll assume I got the message about the portal, and then I'll
Yeah.
turn to Violetta. It's gonna take blood to get through this, but if you further weaken this region, it'd probably lower the cost, maybe.
I could, but since I'm not the primary Guardian of Fire, I wouldn't be able to lower it enough that it would avoid fatal casualties altogether.
Could you help Balin do it? That is sent off to Russo.
That's a good question.
How?
Balin, how do you feel about this? Do you think you'd be ready to help with their situation? Balin says, to save the world? Yeah! Yes, I'm ready!
I'm just gonna kneel down to Balin. Okay. Just stay calm. Don't let your emotions get the best of you, and really focus. And this is not gonna be easy.
He says, it's okay, Daddy. This is what I've been training for. And he puts his hands on his hips.
So I'll have a smirk. And let's see how that training's paid off.
Corin's gonna watch this, and Violet is going to very carefully place the gauntlet onto Balin's hand, and the gauntlet shrinks slightly to actually fit Balin's hand more. And I'm gonna say that everyone here, the mages more so, can feel a sudden surge of power coming from this boy. And I mean, you can tell, the mages especially, including Callista, including Pasha, that this kid's really powerful, or at least has a potential to be very powerful.
Add a character, or like a character too. Is it like demigod powerful, equivalent, a little bit less, a little bit more? What we talking here?
Less.
Okay.
Less.
Okay.
But who knows when he gets older.
Fair.
So, I think what Violet will do is she's going to kneel down in front of Balin. And she says, now remember what I taught you. Just close your eyes, focus, make sure that you calm and control your emotions, and I just need you to feel the essence around you, the fiery energy around you. I just need you to help negate all of the effects that the breach is giving this place. Can you feel it? Yes. It's like I'm in an ocean, but the waves are really, really strong. I know they're strong, but you can push back. Start with a little bit of a ripple, and then let that get larger and larger, and have it always center on you, in here. And she's pointing it from his chest. And he's going to do that, and I think that after about it'll take a little bit of time. It's like 5 minutes. After 5 minutes, you can feel sort of like a weight being lifted off of your shoulders in a sense, because you normally have to exert a little bit more energy while you're around here, but now you feel slightly lighter in this area that you would have felt if you were not in this region at all. And Violetta is, sensing the energies around you, and I think between her and Leon, you will determine that you should be able to open the portal just enough to make a crawl space for all of you, which is probably works out you don't have bomb, because bomb wouldn't be able to fit through it. By using up blood from essentially the Grey Wardens that are with you right now, essentially, without killing them. But it won't last for very long, so you have to be quick. Yes.
Pasha would just like to send a quick telepathic message to the group. And she's just going to say, are we certain about bringing the Grey Warden with us? Why? It gives the Magisters another body they can hop to, and they're easily manipulated by them. Is this really wise?
Well, I have the taint, so technically I'd count among a body they can hop to quickly as well. Though I don't know how the demigod status affects that, but it's Rousseau's brother.
Choice is up to Corin at the end of the day, though the cure would probably make it harder for them to taint him. The cure would probably make it harder for them to infect him by the mind, considering it made you more resistant, Daretham.
That's with Balm, but I can try with this ring.
Well, it's a risk we're gonna have to take. At least only taking one warden, not all of them.
So Daretham is actually gonna, after this, go up to Corin as maybe like the Grey Wardens, assuming they're willing, start to gather for the blood magic ritual, and Leon setting that up. Are we all doing that then?
Yeah, I guess we'll all go with Corin.
First Warden Alren.
Yes. He's still giving you a little bit of a... He still doesn't like you, clearly. So he goes,
Probably
yes.
helps that I look different, but yeah.
Yeah, it does, but he can still recognize you.
Yeah.
But
We are going to be fighting the Magister Sidereals, and they have the ability to, much like an archdemon, transfer their souls to the nearest tainted body should they die. If that's a Grey Warden, unlike an archdemon, they won't die, they will just consume it. I am also tainted, but I have been changed enough that possibly it could affect me differently. If you're willing, I'd like to see if I can dilute the taint a little bit in your own blood, so that way they can't as easily jump to you.
taint is what gives me my power.
Me as well. And he kind of rubs the ring there. But believe it or not, it is controllable by me.
That's a scary thought. Roll a persuasion, Daretham.
Okay.
Take him -4.
So no bonus. Got it.
Yeah, because he does not like you.
So I don't have persuasion, so it's just a flat communication roll. 12.
I think I'll pass, he says stubbornly.
So you're willing to risk the end of the world and the Blight's consuming all of Thetis, then?
I don't think I'm going to be very much help with you in there if I don't have my powers. Either that, or don't take me at all. It's your choice.
Alright. And then I'll relay to the group, he's not willing to let me try to dilute the taint.
Give him your cure.
I don't have it, it's with Balm.
I guess we leave the choice up to him then, if he comes with us or not. He takes the risk.
So there's like a few seconds as he kind of looks off. Well, Rousseau has spoken. You can come with us or you cannot. It's your choice. Just...
You're the one who asked me to come with you. So do you want me with you or not? You were the one who asked me.
Rousseau is saying it's your choice, so... If you want to come with us, you can. If you don't, you do not have to.
Rousseau made it seem like I should be coming, so I guess I should be coming if I want to fulfill my warden duties.
Alright. In his brain, after that, Chakra, everyone will hear, for the record, I think this is a bad idea.
While this is happening, once the 5 minutes has ended with Balin and he has successfully managed, at least in this immediate area, lifted enough of the effects of the breach, something kind of comes over Balin a little bit. He's still coherent, but he's looking around the general area as if he's only now seeing it for the very first time. And Balin kind of looks and says, I know this place. I've been here before. Many, many times. And then he looks up at the statue of Andraste, and when he does, he sort of like kneels down before it. She was here. She came here all the time. And that's all he says.
Russo wouldn't say anything. He's just gonna kind of hold Balin's shoulder as he's like kneeling, because I don't know the specifics of how many times this soul has actually met Andraste or not, so I'm just gonna let him have his moment.
Okay. I think I'm ready. But I have one request, Balin says. Does anyone have any chocolate? I really could use some chocolate right now.
Could I say I grab some, maybe, on the tea aisles or something?
Sure.
Sure. He'll smile and he'll bring out, like, maybe a small chocolate bar or something. Here.
Sure. Thanks. She really liked chocolate, he said. Okay, I'm ready to go in. And I'm going to say that right when that happens, Corin is going to go to Russo, and he says, he's a brave boy.
Yeah, he is.
You raised him well, it seems. Definitely better than I ever could.
Well, to be fair, I don't think there really would have been much raising under your choice.
I think that's fair. Good job, Russo. Maybe something good can come from at least one of us.
Let's get out the veil before we start congratulating each other.
Fair enough.
Nope, we're here now.
Indeed.
Again, I'd like to apologize for what happened before us, in the past. It's been good knowing you, Pasha, and all. Hopefully we'll survive out of this.
If we've prepared well enough, which I'm not entirely sure we have, if they also have a veritable army on their side, and we are about 10 people.
Well, I imagine the tales of you, Pasha, in the Canary Lands would be interesting, maybe.
Probably cautionary, I would think.
Cautionary, probably. But if anything happens, it's been good knowing you.
Pasha just kind of looks at Tyrion in a kind of like a okay kind of way, and she just kind of like nods and looks somewhat awkward as she's just like, okay, yes, I'm going to go sharpen my sword now, Tyrion. Okay. She's just going to remove herself from the situation.
He's just gonna prepare check his bullets and all that, and his bandages.
And if you guys are going to execute the plan, I would love for Leon to cast a blood magic roll, please.
Yeah, I would have given Pyrrhus some prep for this.
Then that's fine. That's fine.
Cool. Ready to go back through the veil, Pyrrhus?
I suppose I don't have very much of a choice, do I? But if I'm back in your possession during the duration of that, then it's a welcome change.
Well, let's go kick their butt.
Good. Let's show what good us blood mages can do.
Yeah, mage on mage battle. 24.
Yes. So you will be able to successfully cast the ritual using a modified version that only allows for a certain amount of blood from the dozen of Grey Wardens that are with you. And the portal will open up slightly, at least enough for you to crawl into.
Could I, in part of that, I've got some vials from all the dragons that we've killed personally. Can I make like a emergency line where it just keeps like a thread of connection between the Fade and the material realm, so that when
So
we
like
come
it keeps
back,
feeding the portal kind of stuff.
yeah, so that we still have an exit. It still keeps it a little bit open.
I feel like you can do that. Roll me another blood magic roll. I feel like you could do that.
And also, while he's doing that, we're leaving Balin here, right?
I would assume we needed Balin to get in, so
Yeah.
preferably if he could.
Yeah. Let's let Balin and Violetta stay here.
You want Balin and Violet to stay out here?
Plan B.
Unless you have a reason to bring him in, I think that's the safer bet.
I'd offer for Violetta to come, but she'd probably stay with Balin character-wise.
Okay. All right.
27 with 4 stuff points.
27 with 4 stun points. Yeah, I believe that you'll be able to do that. Yes.
Would I be able to roll persuasion for Violetta to come, but trust Fergus to protect Balin while we're doing the battle?
That's fair, I think.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm just trying to keep as much of a party as we can going into this.
Yeah, no,
I
yeah.
need all the help we can get.
I mean, maybe Balin could help us in the fight, but I have a feeling that
I
he's
don't
gonna
want to bring my sisters
Yeah.
into a fight.
He's gonna
So
into a
that's-
fight. No.
So that would be a 23.
Yeah. She's gonna say if you trust Fergus with him, I personally do. I think that would probably be the best. We know that the Sidereals are inside the Fade, so I don't think he's going to be in danger out here for the time being.
Okay. And then I'm gonna kneel to Balin. Okay, look, Daddy's gotta go do one last thing, then we're done. After that, when I come back, I'll be with you as long as I can.
I can't come with you and Violetta? You're benching me? Look what I've done so far, Daddy.
And you were unbelievably valuable to get that done. But when you get older and you understand where I'm coming from, I doubt you would let children of your own someday do to this.
Oh, she looks very disappointed. He says, I just want to help save the world.
And you've done a lot to make that possible.
Okay, Daddy. But next time you go save the world, I'm coming with you. Promise?
Crusoe will hold out his pinky finger.
He'll give you his pinky finger, and then he'll wrap his arms around you and give you a big squeeze.
And I'm gonna give Balin the same amount of hug back.
Bring me back something good from the Fade.
Well, in case if I don't, I think you've earned this. And Russo will pull out his normal non-objection hammer.
Really?
Really, just make sure I'm around when we practice with it.
Oh boy, he says, maybe I can practice a little bit with some of the Grey Wardens for warm-up.
Yes, just make sure that they go through the proper technique and you don't do anything too hectic with it.
Violetta is going to say, now Balin, in order for us to all go through, she says, you're going to have to keep the bracer, so I need you to protect that. You are holding a lot of responsibility literally in your hands right now. Yes, Miss Violetta, I know, I understand. I'm ready. Okay then. Whew. Shall we?
Please do, dear. And Russo will hold out his hand to Violetta.
She'll hold her hand, and I guess if nobody else wants to go first, she's gonna go into the portal first.
Well, doing everything, Daretham will look over to Darren and, right before we go in, smile. Well, I think as soon as we're done with this, I'm ready for that beach house.
Oh, absolutely. I was holding you to it, she says.
That was my plan. Was just like, we're gonna need Balin to like get in.
Yeah.
Don't want
Yeah.
him there for the rest
Yeah,
of
we don't- we
the
don't-
Agreed.
We don't want to fight. 6-year-old
I mean, if we
and
didn't bring
Bilbo.
Balin, I felt like we were gonna have to sacrifice the whole army of Grey Warriors.
Yeah. So at the very least, we
You got
did
that
not have to do a blood sacrifice. No blood for the
Yeah.
blood god today.
Yeah,
That's
no.
What?
I'm putting money that when we come back, we're like, Balin, where's the brace? And he's like, I traded it for a bike. And it's like, Balin, no!
You cheated.
No.
It's like a magic card, right? I can trade it back for something better later, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then like that was the one Kunari spy who's just like,
Yes, the guardian of vibes in my hands.
Oh god, that's the negotiation. We'll give back the fire bracer if you give us the water bracer.
The bracer and the guardian.
No, they're like, no, you can keep the bracer. We want the guardian.
You gotta trade
And
up.
the bike we gave. It was an important bike.
It was the Arakun's nephew's grandson's former roommate's bike. It's very precious to us.
Oh my god.
Indeed, it sits upon a pedestal in a museum.
It's made of wood.
But now, it shall be forever used by the guardian of. Oh shit, we didn't think about that. Oh no, they have the artifact now. No.
No.
What power have we given them?
The bite that once ran over to Winter's slaver's neck. No.
It is the bike of Vorpal to Winter beheading.
It's got Vorpal enchantment.
This is how the Kunari assassinate people with a bicycle. Hence why they can just go in and out of cities. It's just like me and my child are riding. Well, I'm teaching him how to ride his bike. Thank you. Now assassinate, kid. Assassinate. Go.
Meanwhile, the kid is like, I don't wanna.
That's gonna be the plot in the Watcher
Yeah,
campaign.
and the only reason I asked Corin to come was like, you're the first warden. Killing like the Sidereals and stopping all future blights is like the whole reason you exist.
That's your job.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
and
what-
while we're here, buff stuff. So everyone has a +2 to attacks, +1 to generate stun points. If you get to 10 health or lower for the first time, you get 2d6 health immediately back. That includes if you go to dying or some shit.
Alright.
And the last thing, I wrote this all down. And the last thing is, any test you have to resist or oppose spell power gain a +5 bonus.
Okay.
You're welcome, Tyrion.
Yeah.
I also want to cast some buff magic, if possible, before we go into the breach.
Yeah, maybe during the 5 minutes you were doing that, so.
Yeah, flaming weapons, and I'm going to use those chakra points to twin frost weapons. So everyone has a +2 penetrating damage, and you deal an extra 1d6 fire damage every time you make an attack.
And what about, is that with frost too? So it's both.
Yeah, frost and fire. They stack. It's
So
specific.
+4 penetrating damage.
No, +2 penetrating damage, and then 1d6 fire damage.
1d6. Oh, so the frost is penetrating, but the frost makes
Fire.
it penetrating, the fire adds damage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got it. And that's on all weapon attacks.
Yes, all weapon attacks.
Does that include my claws, Hark?
Sure.
Technically,
Yeah,
technically, it's an unarmed strike, so
Melee
technically, I think so.
It's only
yeah.
melee weapons, so
Yeah, only melee.
Yeah.
Only melee?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so actually, I will go ahead because I've cast enough spells to regain all of my chakra through stunts. So I'm gonna spend all 10 of my chakra to add to my claws. So while I'm in this mode, assuming I
Yeah.
don't go down, I have +10 to armor or defense. I think I'm gonna go armor because I mean my defense is. Skull, what do you think? I have +10 total. Should I add it?
defense is AC, armor's damage protection.
I know. I think I want to do
Mother
armor. I think
Yeah.
I want to do armor in this case because I
Yeah.
want to keep my health up and shit. So,
So-
and I'm a healer. So I'll add +10 to my armor, and I do 2d6 +10 penetrating damage on my claws until I go down.
Well, no, 2 penetrating damage and 1d6 fire damage.
Yes, on top of that.
Okay. So all of you, one by one, enter into the portal crawl space, and going into the Fade, you feel a slight nausea as you pass through. This is something that you're not normally used to doing unless you're falling asleep and dreaming, and so you feel a little bit disoriented. And when you finally can sense the surroundings around you, you feel a little bit of vertigo. So it's almost like in Dragon Age Inquisition when things are upside down or sideways, and you're not really sure what up is from down, and the areas around you keep morphing and shifting. So there's like stability in the Fade is always ever changing, or lack thereof. Yes. Darethim, you are with Darren, and only Darren, currently. And you summon Spirit Mode, and before you appears this elegantly beautiful figure with red hair, who you do recognize as Verania.
Just give a soft smile, and if Darren looks at him, Darethim she would recognize the smile. It's the same one he would give to her.
I'm gonna say that Darren starts to put two and two things together, and she's gonna look a little slightly insecure. Slightly insecure. I wouldn't say jealous, just insecure.
Mm-hmm. And he'll just... Hey.
Hello. So are you ready?
As ready as I can be. And he gives a smile to her and a nod before he looks down, and the exact same look, same love, same intensity goes down to Darren. You ready, Darren?
I think so. She says, would you like to introduce me to your Fade Spirit friend? She says.
Darren, this was not still new to spirits, but this is Verania.
Nice to meet you, Darren. And Darren sort of nods, and she says respectfully, it's good to meet you as well. Verania says, thank you for showing Darethim how I see him by the way that you see him, she says. And Darren says, what can I say? Butchers are sexy, like I said. I would like to say that Verania gives a bit of a smile at that, and she says, yes, I will be there in the fight with you, Darethim. I'll do what I can, but most of it will be up to you.
And he'll smile and thank her, and then maybe before she shifts into his form, being has summoned her, or moves alongside them, he stops, and Darren would notice his grip on her hand tightens a little bit, now he's the one who's looking kind of insecure. And then his eyes look down, and then he looks back up. I forgot to say it, but I'm sorry.
For what?
Bashing your skull in with a staff.
That wasn't you. You know that wasn't you.
And he'd lean into Darren, and she could feel a lot of his weight go onto her, but for him it's his body's finally light. It's all the tension just drains out in an instant, and there's just a long sigh, and he does cry a little bit.
The spirit will hold up a finger and sort of catches one of your tears, And then she'll just kind of place her hand gently on your cheek. And then she says, "Find strength in yourself, Dartham. You are not tainted. You are blessed." And with that, Dartham, you have just gained the blessing of Varania. So you can automatically, 3 times during the rest of this session, you may opt when a mind-affecting spell is cast on you. You can just negate it.
I get legendary resistances? Fuck yeah!
3 times. 3 times. You just say it, but it can only work 3 times. So just
Nice. I will mark that down. And then he would just feel like that weight on his mind lessen. And he'll smile and look at both Darren and Verania and just say, "Thank you, both of you."
The spirit will not say anything with you, but instead she will merge into you as she normally does for spirit when you go into spirit mode. And the path before you opens up, and you can see right in front of you the path leading to a large black city.
And maybe even in Dartham's head there's a slight whisper from the ring having been here before.
Yep. What do you do?
Real quick, just to end the scene, Dartham will look down to Darren and give her a kiss.
She'll give you a kiss, and for some reason the kiss tastes even sweeter here in the Fade. For some reason, it tastes a little sweeter.
I love you.
I love you too. Now let's open a can and take some names and kick some serious butt.
She didn't say
said it better
butt.
myself.
She didn't say butt.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
All right. And I guess you will make your way to the Black City.